never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow.
The past is gone. Now's the future.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of the Weekly Review. My name is Mike Larkin, and joining me, as always, on this fine program is Mr. Paul Morales, the RWT Deadman, and Mr. Daniel Crimmins, DC himself. Gentlemen, what a weekend of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
I think something happened.
Yeah.
I think something exciting happened over the weekend.
Yeah, this thing called the Royal Rumble happened.
Oh,
in front of 60
that. Oh, yeah, that occurred.
That occurred, yes.
Oh, you mean that was this past weekend?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that, you mean to tell me Collision wasn't the only thing on this weekend?
I know, man. I know. What? But
I think GCW ran a show too.
I think they did. Who wants to
Talking
see
about good old Joey Janela?
That, yeah. And you can see dumbass Effie puking in people's mouths like a dumbass.
Ew.
But I want to say something that was not ew. And I want to say instead of ew, I will say yeet. As Jay Uso.
We'll pay you.
And Jay Uso.
They'll do something.
Oh my goodness. We'll get to him later. But Jay Uso has won the Royal Rumble. Rightfully so. But people
called it.
We said
that dude called it. All right, I'll give it to him because he said.
I'll give it to you, Dan. You called it.
In our chat, he didn't necessarily say it on the stream because I watched the stream to make sure that you had actually said it. But yes, you did say it in our chat. You didn't necessarily say it. But you look, I'll give you the credit that your credit's due. Look, you said it. It doesn't matter. You said it.
Much credit. Much love. But
and my prediction didn't happen, so.
Well, I will say this. People in the IWC were pissed that Jay won, and I'm like, y'all can go fuck yourselves, number one. But number two, the right person went over. Well, because, he lost at Saturday night's main event. Why is he winning here? He literally went on Raw, stood on the table and said, hey, Gunther, you beat me, Oos, but I know I can beat you, Oos. And here we are. And we're going to get Jay and Gunther at WrestleMania. And the pop when he beats him is going to be extraordinary.
There was
they're going to be yeeting as much as they did tonight on Raw.
Holy hell, that boy was crying. And those people, they got an encore yeet. The first ever encore yeet on Raw. Oh.
And you know what? Honestly, it was, to me, it would have done more of a disservice to Jay had Cena eliminated him. And see, here's the thing. It's John freaking Cena.
Right.
He doesn't need it.
No, not at all.
More than likely, he's probably going to win the Elimination Chamber, which I'm cool with.
I am, but I also might have to disagree on the fact I think we're getting Cena and Logan Paul. I see Logan Paul pinning Cena in the Chamber, and that leads to Cena beating Logan at WrestleMania. I don't see him winning the Chamber. I don't think we're going to get a title match until later in the year, probably around SummerSlam time is where I'm guessing.
He is getting 17.
Oh, he is definitely going to get 17.
And then Ric Flair's going to come out of retirement and win.
No,
but
please.
Please, no.
No.
Of anything, please.
It was and honestly, it made Jay's win even bigger that, it was Cena and not somebody else. Like Rollins. The only other person, and it would have made no sense, but if he had eliminated Roman, that wouldn't have made storyline sense since they're, but it was good. The right person won. Like, I was stoked.
I'm just trying to figure out how all these people who were Jey Uso fans are now all of a sudden just like mad because he won. It's like it makes no damn sense.
No.
Like you're rooting for this guy to be that underdog, the same underdog that Sami Zayn was. And it's like, or that Sammy and Kevin, remember the bloodline, remember the whole story of, WrestleMania 39 here in LA, remember where everybody was like, yeah, they got to get over. And as soon as they won, everybody was cheering, everybody was happy. But there's the thought that a couple of years later, all of a sudden, Jey Uso, who is ultra over, gets a damn push. Why can't people just be fucking happy that he's over? He is completely over with the crowd, and you want that.
And Paul, to kind of piggyback off your point, I'm reminded of a promo, an infamous Bryan Danielson promo from SmackDown a number of years back. I think you know the one, Fickle.
Oh yeah.
Geez.
Well,
they a whole lot of fickle. If you ask me, they a whole lot of fickle.
They give the fans everything that they freaking want. Like they made Kofi the champion at WrestleMania 35. Not long after, fans were already starting to boo him.
Yep. Very true.
They give us what we want. They're like, okay, here you go.
Hold that one, because that was a Vince problem.
Yes.
That was a Vince issue because Vince didn't do enough. Much like Triple H did the first couple of months, the first maybe 4 or 5 months that Cody was champion. I'm not saying this is just a Vince thing. I'm saying this is a Vince and Triple H thing. I get it. You have the momentum. He got there. He got to the mountaintop. He's the champion, but you did nothing with him.
Mm-hmm.
So for the first couple of months, who did he feud with? Who did Cody feud with? He feuded for like a month and a half with AJ Styles.
Yep.
Flirted with Logan Paul.
Yep.
KO.
He had Kevin Owens just at the beginning. Then all of a sudden, it's like we went away from him to come back to him to have this excellent couple of months with Kevin Owens. And that was like the fire fucking part of it.
Yeah. I mean, when you go from AJ to Logan Paul to Solo, back now to Kevin Owens and back to Kevin Owens, like, yeah, that's the thing. It's like this is the best probably part of his feud thus far with the title.
Yeah, but what Vince did is that he literally took Kofi, did nothing with him, then had Brock Lesnar take the title off of him in 3 seconds, and literally like 5 seconds. 6 seconds.
I mean, if you look at Kofi's trajectory in 2019, we had the feud with Ziggler. It should have been me. We had the feud with Randy Orton. And then he got squashed. Oh, no, we had the match with Samoa Joe in there as well. But then he got killed by Brock Lesnar. Yeah, that whole
never got it back.
But look at how long he had the title reign for.
Yep,
it was like what 90 something days that he had the title for. Why? Because Vince, that wasn't Vince's boy. That wasn't Vince's choice. But yes, he went with the crowd. He went over with the crowd. Said, "Hey, I'll give you what you want, but." Once I give you what you want, boom, that's it. I'm going to take it away from you.
I mean, if you think about it, like, that was a habit. I mean, think about it. Elias, super over. Did nothing with it. Rusev Day. They put Rusev and Aiden English together because they had fuck all to do.
Right.
And they got that over.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you had people change. Rusev was never supposed to be a face. But they got it over.
Never. It was never supposed to be a face. But what happened? We ended up getting him over.
Because Miro is super charismatic.
Exactly. And I mean, if you look at like Dan mentioned, just to go back to the point, guys, I mean, him eliminating Cena was the right call. Other eliminations I do have to mention before we even get into the surprises, because this Rumble was jam-packed and stacked. Dudes, the infamous... Well, we saw Drew McIntyre getting pissed at. He got eliminated by Damian Priest, and we found out the reason thanks to PWInsiderElite.com of what happened. So here we go. When Drew McIntyre returned to the back during the Royal Rumble, he was screaming and cursing that someone had to get their moves in at the expense of a number of stories in the match. Something went amiss with McIntyre's planned elimination, which was to spark a storyline between he and Damian Priest for WrestleMania season when LA Knight backed up into Jey Uso, Priest, and McIntyre as they headed towards the ropes for the spot. The feeling among those spoken to is that McIntyre may have been upset that Knight's errant movement killed the drama and momentum of the spot, taking something that was meant to be a big moment and rendering into something that sort of happened in a clunky manner, losing the moment that was meant to spark the Priest-McIntyre story. One WWE or source downplayed the situation, saying the company can always tweak things in post-production, but acknowledged McIntyre's anger after. So that has been the situation ever since the Drew McIntyre elimination from Damian Priest. And then you see people on social media really talking about how are we going to have Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest when Drew McIntyre's going after the bloodline? I'm like, okay, Who did Damian Priest cash in on last year for that Money in the Bank briefcase and won the WWE?
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, there's a story from going from last year's WrestleMania. But, yeah, he blamed LA Knight, which for me, I don't blame LA Knight. I mostly blame Logan Paul on this one.
You know,
It's just, you know what? Accidents happen. Accidents just happen in the match. People are in the moment. You know, it wasn't, maybe he was just trying to get a spot in, but, you know, is it just a case of wrong place, wrong time? Probably. But you have to look at it from that standpoint. Can everything be fixed? Of course it can. At some point in time, they're going to fix this. At some point in time, he's going to say, well, you know, the tit for tat, he's going to eliminate, probably get Damian Priest, you know, something's going to happen between the two to where it ignites the feud. And whatever spot was supposed to happen at the Royal Rumble didn't happen because of LA Knight or Logan Paul or Kofi Kingston or, you know, whoever was in the match. It just happened, you know, like the spot with Cena and Batista, them falling out of the ring at the same time, landing on the floor at the same time, when one of them was supposed to hold on to the damn ring apron. Which one was supposed to hold on to it? Batista. And he didn't do it, and he landed. Then it just happens. Get over it. Let it go.
I think
let it go. Oh,
stop it.
Sorry.
I think
DC go.
I think part of the problem is, and it seemed like it was both the men and the women's rumble, is you had a lot of people in the ring at once, and that's not a huge ring, you know. So it was crowded, and to quote Gunter, you know, because he was talking about his first Survivor Series match, he says the problem with multi-man matches is everyone's got to get their licks in.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's got to do their thing.
But that's the thing, though, is that if you look at it, there were, at the beginning of the women's match, there were no eliminations until, like, what, the 14th or 15th woman came out?
And then they started.
And then it was like one. And then it was like one. And then it was like, okay, you still got 13 other women in the damn match. And then it's like, I don't understand it. I get it. I get that you're trying to get everybody in there. I get you're just trying to give them some time in the ring. But when you crowd the ring with so many people, you're bound to get accidents that just happen.
I got to play this because Paul put it up. You mentioned the women's round. I'm going to play the botch here. Here we go.
That wasn't a botch. That was a good sign, though.
Yo, she dying laughing.
Man, listen.
You could see both Naomi and Bianca just laughing.
Yep.
And Bianca she's probably thinking, God, get this camera off me.
Can we just also put over Bianca for the fact that as soon as Naomi and Jordan Grace hugged, she grabbed her right by her.
She was about ready to snatch that wig off or whatever extension she had in her hair. She was about ready to snatch it. But I get it. It might be part of the story as to Jade, you know, getting attacked, you know, and whatnot. So we don't know. We're just speculating. We're just kind of throwing it out there, but we will know eventually at some point. So stay tuned.
I will say this. Can we just put over the fact, and I love the jacket, Fiend forever, for life, if you will. Alexa Bliss, that pop. Holy hell.
I cried.
Me
and
too.
Initially, she wasn't supposed to be in it.
No, but they got everything. Well, don't believe the internet.
I said she was going to be in. I said they were just crossing the T's, dotting the I's, and we were going to get bamboozled, in which case Triple H actually threw everybody up under the bus. And I think Sean Ross Sapp was actually in that bus that he ran over, that he ended up running over, because, of course, Sean was actually one that actually put it out there, said that they were, you know, it wasn't going to happen, that she wasn't going to be there. Then all of a sudden the report that morning were like, she was spotted backstage.
She went from Florida to Minneapolis, and everything got crossed. They had T's in the eyes, like Paul mentioned, and Alexa Bliss was back and better than ever. And here is what Paul is referring to. Triple H at the post show and the press conference, if you will, for Royal Rumble, cooking the dirt sheets.
Contrary to everybody going out there and saying, online or whatever, this is where they're going. I know I talked to a dude to another dude that talked to a dude that said he knew this. I can tell you none of them know. None of them know. So contrary to
that is literally every friggin' dirt sheet out there. Triple H.
That was dumping on Dave, dumping on Brian, dumping on their fucking show. Of course, dumping on fucking Wrestling Inc., dumping on all these media, quote unquote, media outlets that are out here talking shit that are like,
It's
oh, well,
fake
she ain't
news.
coming back. They ain't gonna see her. Talk about bamboozled. Guess who said that she was coming back?
Mm-hmm.
This show
I'm
right
gonna
here.
take it because I got the video for it that said, guess what? She coming back. She gonna be back.
And she did, man. And she was great. She hadn't missed a step. She looked in great shape.
You wouldn't have known.
No.
You wouldn't have known she's been gone 2 years.
Right. And that's the thing, man. Speaking of someone who looked great and who was got, how about Trish Stratus coming back to her old 2000 attire? Trish looking good. Thank you, Trish.
Thank you.
To go back to Alexa for a minute, you could tell, like, 'cause I'm sure in her mind before she's come out, she's thinking, well, how's it going to be? Are they going to remember me? Are they going to? And you could tell, like, when she came out, like, she was holding it back. Like, she was holding it back.
Girl, we remembered you.
We remember
you ain't ever left. And the fact that you came out with the jacket, Fiend Forever, and holding Lily.
Yep.
Yeah. By the way, in about 2 months, I will have Lily because I bought it. Well, actually, my wife bought it,
So I will say this about Alexa Bliss. Do you guys like the fact that it looks like she's going to be on the Raw brand and we're not going to get the interaction with the Wyatt Six?
Actually, we may actually get the Wyatt Six because I think she's going to be moved over to SmackDown.
She's going to SmackDown? Okay.
I think she's going to go to SmackDown because if wherever Nia is at, I think that's where she's going to be at. And I think probably her first feud, as much as I think that it's going to be Liv, I don't think that it's going to be Liv because I still think that there's some things that need to be done in order for that to happen. Maybe a tag team championship in her future, and then Liv and Raquel going after it, giving us that Liv and Alexa, interaction.
What do you think, Dan?
I think what needs to happen eventually, and I'm not saying right away, because people are already saying, "Oh, put her with the Wyatt Six, put her with the Wyatt." No, slow build.
Yep.
Give it the slow burn treatment. Eventually, put her back with Nikki Cross, because you know what, Nikki Cross is too damn talented to just be sitting there. But I think start her on Raw. Nia's on Raw now.
I believe so, yeah. Is she on Raw now? I think the transfer one, she's on Raw now. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think she's on Raw too.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that.
It's all these
the GOAT is on SmackDown. Of course, I'm talking about R-Truth.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we also got AJ Styles on Raw now, which he was another great surprise. I'm happy to see AJ back. Don't get hurt again, please.
Please.
Don't get hurt.
That was just a
that accident. Back to things that happened, and it was just a freak accident. That was just one of those. You're like,
Like that was it. Like you. I watched it back, and it's like, really,
really, yeah.
This is like, if you think about, like, I remember when Triple H tore his quad the first time. Like, I remember watching it at first, thinking, like, wait, where did it happen? And then you see, and you're just like, well, that doesn't look too bad. But then you watch it in slow mo, and you see the quad tear. Literally, like, you see it tear and literally roll up. So it's one of those freak things. They happen. Any pro wrestler will tell you. You get in the ring, and it's a likelihood.
Let's try the funny one where Vince tore both of his quads jumping into the ring.
Royal Rumble 05. Yeah, man.
Just
After
trying to
the-
stand up.
And
Just
I
trying to-
just mentioned Cena and Batista. That's where freaking Vince ended up tearing both of his quads while jumping into the ring. But that was a nasty hit on the end of the freaking ring. I
Yep.
mean, you see him hit the end of the ring with both of his quads, and it was just like you see him try and get up, and he couldn't do it.
There
No.
He
was
is
a
like
story I heard,
a newborn calf.
and I love this story that they said that Vince gets help to the back, and the whole time, like, he just screaming and cussing, and they said, "You'd think he'd be in pain," and then they said, "But we think his anger is what sustained him."
Yeah.
Like,
I
he
mean,
was that furious.
All right, let's get back on topic.
Yes.
We had the Royal Rumble. We got Mr. Yeet as the men's champion, and of course, we get the Queen as
Sure.
the women's champion,
I have
winning
to
the
say,
women's Royal Rumble.
I have to say this. I did enjoy. We got Lash Legend and Jada Parker and a lot of the great NXT girls that were in there really representing. Dude, Roxanne Perez breaking it over an hour and 7 minutes into the Rumble. Her coming down to the final two. Roxanne, man, give me some more Roxanne Perez. Like,
She's gonna be a star. Like, she's like,
great.
when you think
All
of,
right,
like,
I got one take on this.
Go ahead.
Do you realize that the last 4 women's Royal Rumbles, we've had that record broken 4 times?
Yeah.
We've had that long record broken 4 times, 4 years in a row. 4.
Oh, yeah. 4.
We had I believe it was Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Bailey, and now Roxanne. Literally 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes, sir.
That's exactly how it happened. Like, it's mind blowing. It's really, really mind blowing that we get 3 years in a row where that record is broken. Why can't it just stand? I mean, we get it. They're going to be in there for an hour. Cool, fine, dandy. But come on, man. Let her. I know Rhea did it at 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rhea
right.
did it from 1. Bianca did it from 2
2. Yep.
or 3.
2 or 3.
2.
Yeah.
No, because she was in there. Yeah, she did it from 2. Bailey did it from 2.
No, she was 1.
Oh, from 1, huh?
Yeah, 1.
Yeah, so come on, man. Let's get some later numbers. I mean, we got the Queen this year, which I would have liked to have had seen her be number 30, which I was very, very disappointed at who number 30 was.
All right, we're gonna mention it. Nikki Bella was number 30.
hey, you
She
can
looked
look,
good.
but you can't touch.
She looked good. She looked in great shape.
That's not my point. I mean, you could have had this return at any point in time. Her appear on a SmackDown or a Raw, which would have been a hell of a lot better.
Mhm.
But you could have given it to somebody else in NXT who was probably more deserving. Thea Hale, I think, would have been a good choice, or moving people around, and maybe the Queen going at 30. That probably would have been the bigger pop, even though she got a really good welcome back. Didn't get one tonight in Cleveland.
Nope.
God forbid it's Cleveland.
Let's talk
But-
about a bigger one real quick. That right there.
That
Jay
man.
His name.
As he appears. You want to talk
And he
about
appears.
you
Hold
wanna-
on. I have to do it.
Here's the
I
thing.
believe in Joe Hendry.
For those that said that he was not going to get a big pop in front of 60,000 people.
Man, that man got a pop. He not only got a pop, he got people singing the song,
Mhm.
and he even got Sheamus out there helping him out.
He's like, I'm enjoying this. Why'd you ruin this? That was so great.
God damn it, Roman Reigns.
It's like, I was enjoying this. But no, it was so great to see Joe Hendry really represented in that match as well with the TNA World's Heavyweight Championship. Dude, and like I mentioned with the women as well, you mentioned Nikki Bella. I concur with you that it could have been on like a SmackDown or anywhere else. But I mean, hey, we got her, and she did get a nice pop in her own right. Like you mentioned, like Charlotte got a big pop coming out. But yeah, tonight in Cleveland, no bueno. They were booing her out of the building. I'm sure we're going to get Charlotte and Tiffany. She's going to NXT tomorrow to speak with Julia. Then we got Tiffany on SmackDown. So, I mean, to be completely honest with you, after tonight's exchange, I would not mind a rubber match between Rhea and Mommy at WrestleMania. There's a part of me that wants to see that. No.
I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't put like Masha Slamovich in there.
I concur. I hear you.
You know, that's the thing, is that you had the TNA women's champion the year before with Jordan Grace. You have her coming out, you know, with her sirens, with the belt around her waist. Why wouldn't you do the same thing with Masha Slamovich?
She may not have been
That's
available.
why I'm saying Nikki Bella could have been just as easily pushed out and said, hey, look, we're going to do this a different way. But what happened after the match had finished, or when Nikki Bella was eliminated, that interaction between her and Bailey, where she ended up coming by and like literally like slapping Bailey, and it was like, she's like, what the hell did I do? Like, and you just see like the face on Bailey, and Nikki's just over there flipping her hair, blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna be a cat fight for this.
Yeah, man.
They're gonna be more for this.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, like Daniel just said, Masha may have not also been available to be in the Rumble, but I think with what we got with the NXT talents, and I've said this now, this is not the Vince era anymore. It's like we have a lot of people where we really don't need like a lot of surprises anymore. Like, because they're building people. And I mean, Jada Parker got a great reaction because she's on the come up with NXT. And I mean, it's really like, I enjoyed both Rumbles. I mean, we could say what you will about Charlotte winning, but I mean, with Jey Uso, man, him and Gunther.
And tell the people in the IWC to go fuck themselves because Jey Uso is so fucking over.
Dude, all right, we're going to put it to the forefront here because
I'll say it. When you think of like the Rockers and the Hardys, you know, you always, all the great tag teams, you always have that one standout.
Of course.
Of course.
You know, with the Dudleys, it was Bubba. You know, don't get me wrong, Jimmy Uso's
Harlem Heat, it was Booker T.
Yep.
Usos, it's Jay. I mean, Jimmy's good, don't get me wrong, but
I don't know. You said Dudley's. I would have thought Spike would have been the one that everybody thought was best, but hey,
no, it was Sign Guy Dudley.
Brothers of Destruction. I'm sorry, Kane was just a little bit better than the Undertaker. Hey, I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm lying.
Wife, Sarah.
Hello, name right there.
No,
there's a reason why.
Goodness gracious.
I'm done.
Now, I will say this. We talk about the IWC, and I have to play this because this is also from Busted Open. Mark Henry gives his first-hand account of what made Jey Uso the perfect choice to win the Royal Rumble, and here we go.
I was in San Antonio, standing in Gorilla when Jay came back, and I said, I hope you don't get the boo-boo face. I said, you're destined for something greater. I can feel it. Like, you don't go into 3 championship matches and lose all 3 championship matches and keep getting opportunities like this one. There's a reason that this is being done. And he looked at me and he was like, yeah, oh man, I ain't tripping, man. I ain't tripping. He's still so humble. He was like, what do you think we could have done different? Bro, you at your most sensitive when you come out of that ring and walk through that curtain. The advice that you get from people, you take it to your heart. You don't always ask. You don't ask everybody because you don't care what everybody thinks. I felt so honored that him and Gunther came and talked to me and asked me my opinion. It's too many people that's head up their own ass so far that they can't humble themselves and go and talk to somebody that understands the business at a Sith Lord level. And they did, both of them. Gunther and Jay are both on the trajectory of being top guys. And I pray that God let me live to see it, because from what we saw last week before the Rumble, if that's indicative of what we're going to get to watch in the next 5 years, holy hell. The Rumble set the table for Jay to be a megastar. And I'm just excited for it, man. It's just awesome.
I mean, Preach. And that's the thing too. Like you have two guys like Jay and Gunther who are ring generals in their own right. But I mean, we always equate it to what the other locker room over there and the other company could do and not listen to these guys. They humble themselves. Go ahead.
I also think we got to point out, if you remember in 2020,
I was in San Antonio.
The Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns matches. I remember when they first booked that, people thought, Jay, really?
Yep.
And then we saw how good he was as a single star, and people started asking for it. And I think at first Jay didn't realize how good he was, but now he's feeling it, and the crowd loves him. And, from a personal standpoint, and it made the rounds on social media, and to me, I thought it was absolutely beautiful. You see him walk backstage, and his brother, Jimmy, is standing there waiting for him. And not just Jimmy, but his cousin.
Yep. Here we go. We'll get into
I love you so low.
Here is Jacob Fatu, Jimmy Uso, and Jey Uso.
So proud of Jay. So proud of the family. 2025. Give me that Royal Rumble. Give me that. The voice. Deserve it. It is you. It is you. Man, congratulations, dog. Congratulations, dog. Give me that, man. Say, put that on, boy. You take that, man. No. Bro, go ahead, throw it on one time for him, Moose. This 1-1 right here. Hey, great. Yo, how you feel? How you feel out there? Shit. Yeah. Come on, Moose. Congratulations, brother. Thank you, man. Let it out, boys. You see it? You see it? Floss that over. That's that hard work. That's that hard work. Let's go, man. Our turn. It's our turn. Love you, bro. Well, you too, Cody.
Now, if that doesn't touch your heart, I don't know what the hell does.
There's out there in front of the crowd. There's backstage, when you're in character in the back, that kayfabe character in the back. But this is family. No matter what, it's family above all. And this was just a genuine moment with family. The fact that he was wearing a YEET shirt, that's what got me too, is that, Jacob out there representing his family. You know what? You won this. He probably went to merchandise right quick and said, hey, guess what? I need a shirt right quick because my cousin just won. And they were like, here, YEET.
I think stuff like that. It also, like what he said in tonight's promo, where he's like, I've been doing this since 2010. And like you mentioned, he talked about the many different chapters of his career. Much like Daniel said, I was also in one of the minority when he started getting that push during COVID, and we started getting Roman and Jay in the Hell in a Cell Night of Champions. I, too, much like you guys, were like, okay, this is a nice little spotlight for Jay. All right, we're going to get a match here. But did I think it was going to turn into what we got with the right-hand man stuff? Hell to the no. But it was great to see, and that really threw the trajectory of the Jey Uso geek character. And I mean, he could win the Intercontinental Championship. He can lose the Intercontinental Championship. He can win. He can lose. The people are behind him. And that's what makes him one of the best spectacles and one of the most special superstars right now.
And I'm just looking forward to the ride, seeing, what he and Gunther do at Mania,
Or him and Cody do at WrestleMania.
Or him and Obafemi.
Ooh, that would be another one. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I saw there, the embrace with Jimmy, is love.
Mm-hmm.
A brother's love. And that's something you can't replicate that.
You cannot. And when we talk about weeping, and Paul Morales, I hate you for getting me weeping up in this piece, but we're going to play it. This was Jay with that boy Shay on Club Shay Shay. Shannon Sharp doing his thing. So here we go.
That is his last chance to kind of main event WrestleMania. So, and we're in Toronto, Canada. You know, I hope he gets it, man. But I will, you know, say some real shit, man. He came in the ring, and if you watch it back, he did come in the ring. He came in the ring. He after I thought I was about to damn
had to do it again.
Throw his ass out one more time. I was just but he said, hey man, he hugged me. He goes, hey Oos, I remember your first tour. I said, I always told you and your brother, you guys will be fine, be yourself. And he goes, look at these people now. And like that's when he turned me to the crowd, and you know, they just hitting it, man. So yeah, man. Love for John Cena, you know. He's a GOAT.
I don't want to hear any bad words about John Cena ever again. No, you can't.
And I think, you know, going back to what you said, like, he didn't just eliminate anybody. He eliminated one of arguably the greatest superstars of all time. Like, you talk generational talents, like, there'll never be another Hulk Hogan. There'll never be another Ric Flair, a Randy Savage. There will never, ever be anyone like a John Cena.
No, and I mean,
this is huge.
Well, great. I mean, and it's 23 years of just pure moments and memories with John. And if he's going to go out, this is the best way to go out, putting over the younger talent. Well, also at the same time, he's going to get, like you mentioned, you know, he's going for 17. This whole entire Rumble, the face-off between Cena, Roman, Punk, Seth, that right there got everybody electricity going, and especially the elimination with Seth and Roman, and then Seth with the curb stomp. What's going to happen there? You created something special within those many sequences. And the other thing I do have to mention from those many sequences is it's just one of those things where this Royal Rumble gave you moments. And what I love about this Rumble too, as well, is we had Cody and Kevin, and we mentioned these nut bars, man. That Fisherman Buster onto that ladder, the Alabama Slammer through the ladder. These guys went full throttle. And the fact that Kevin Owens is still standing is just absolutely amazing.
I saw him climb into the ring tonight, and it was just like that big old freaking welt over his eye. He looked like he was in a car crash, just point blank. He looks like he was in a car crash. So,
kudos to him.
Kudos.
Yeah. They went out there and killed it. They went out there and did their damn thing. And I hear a lot of people giving DIY and Motor City Machine Guns a lot of shit because literally it was a filler match in between the women's Royal Rumble and the men's Royal Rumble. You know, it was that filler match in between there that it's good. I know they only had 14 minutes, which I don't know. I'm not much for time constraints, I guess, on certain matches. And I guess it was like the falls were kind of so close to each other. The first fall was kind of tricky, you know, DIY tricking Motor City Machine Guns with the blind tag, you know, not really tagging them. Then all of a sudden it's like, you know, they roll them up for the 1, 2, 3. Motor City Machine Guns coming back, getting their pin. Then the finish. And I get it. Street Profits, you know, were kind of booked out of what happened with them, you know, coming out angry. People were saying that they saw what's his face coming around with a freaking crutch, and he was walking around the town. Yeah, he was walking around town with a freaking crutch, and that he was injured, legitimately injured, but turns out that he wasn't. So we're gonna get this triple threat at some point, or that, or a one-on-one, or you know, a singular tag team match. But I'm here for this. I think the tag team division on SmackDown is setting up to be fire.
And I think realistically, I think what's going to happen, and I think it's kind of it's surprising that so many people don't see this. We're going to get a multi-team tag team match for the WWE tag titles at WrestleMania. Maybe a ladder match. Maybe we get the Guns versus, DIY versus Street Profits. Hell, throw Pretty Deadly in there too.
That I could see. That I can perfectly see. I don't want it at Elimination Chamber. Please don't give me it at Elimination Chamber. Please don't give me that crap at Elimination Chamber. Please, God forbid they do that. God, I'm hoping Triple H has some sense, maybe just to throw in a tag team match, just for shits and giggles. But I want that Edge and Christian, Dudley's, Hardy's match at WrestleMania for those tag team titles, because that would work. And right now we got right now, if you look at it, we got War Raiders, challenge that are probably going to get challenged from
the Creed
brothers, and then we'll eventually get Ivy Nile versus Lyra Valkyria for the Intercontinental Women's IC title. So that'll be cool too.
I mean, to go on Dan's point, I like his Fatal 4-Way for WrestleMania, much like you, Paul. Like, you really spread these great tag teams. And I've said this, we've all said this. People don't really give Pretty Deadly their own credit just because they see like the flamboyant gimmick. But I'm like,
they're starting to.
They can wrestle and they're flipping amazing. But I look at it like this as well. Like, you talk about like the Creed brothers and the War Raiders, people are going to be in for a spectacle in that one. But I like to go on for Dan's point. Like, I really am looking forward to the tag division. And here's the thing. You talk about DIY and Motor City Machine Guns. I did not hate the match. It made sense because Street Profits wanted them to retain because they took them out and they want a shot at DIY. And all made sense because of Motor City and whatnot. I didn't hate the match. Did I feel it was filler? Yes, but the match in itself was fine. I did see people giving crap about it. The whole entire show, if you guys have not checked out the Royal Rumble, and we're giving you snippets and appetizers here, go and watch it, because for the 4 hours that we got, it was really, really good. It was a very, very solid show. And the follow-up after that, we mentioned some stuff that went on Raw. I mean, we got CM Punk in the Elimination Chamber match with Cena now. We got Liv Morgan as a part of the Women's Elimination Chamber. It's really shaping up, guys.
I think what's going to happen, and riddle me this, if whether I'm wrong or not, say the first 5 slots, well, except for the men, because they're already filled. John Cena already said declared, so they pretty much put them in. So now you're going to have four slots to fill. I think that 5th one is probably going to be everybody who lost in a fatal 4-way. Whoever wins, goes into the Elimination Chamber. That's what I think is going to happen. But we still got 3 weeks until 3 weeks from Saturday to get there. And I think the women's probably going to do the exact same thing. I think we're probably going to get 5 matches, because I think Io Sky needs to be in that match. And if I'm reading lips and I'm reading Rhea's lips, I read that she said, "I'm going to get you in there." So if that's to happen, hey, cool. I would love to see Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, WrestleMania. Give it to me.
I'm here for it too. Go ahead, Dan. What are your thoughts?
The one I really don't want to see. I definitely don't want to see Rhea and Liv again. They need to let that rest for a while.
It looks like her and Raquel are going to go after the women's tag team titles. That's just me.
I'm cool with that.
And I think that they're gonna that she's gonna knock out Liv, and that Liv's gonna need a replacement. And of course, I think that may be Io. I'm just kind of throwing out scenarios here, but if it happens, hey, cool. Guess what? Guess who's with the prognosticator on that one? Just saying.
I know I'm right there with you, because with what we have with the men's qualifiers as of right now, I see Logan Paul beating Ray. I see Seth beating Finn. For the women, I see, next week I see Lyra getting in because Bayley's going to get screwed by Roxanne. I like how it's
Nikki
really
Bella.
Or Nikki Bella. Okay, I like where
we're going. I meant she may get screwed by Nikki Bella, is what I'm saying.
I feel you. Either way, I like how the Elimination Chamber matches are being set up. And I think these two are really going to be something special for the people in Canada. And I mean, I have to mention tonight, Penta, again, with another win over Ludwig Kaiser. Are you guys looking forward to like a Penta, Pete Dunne, Ludwig Kaiser exchange?
That was interesting. I would love to see that in a triple threat match, maybe.
Yeah. I was thinking because he did the thing during the Netflix ad break that we were going to get Sal Miedo and Braun Breaker, but it looks like I'm cool if we get AJ Styles and Braun Breaker for the IC title. I'm fine with that too. Like, there's so many possibilities. I mean, what I have to ask this now with Kevin Owens and Sammy, do you do that straight away in Toronto, or do you go to
Mania?
Mania.
That's a Mania match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I think as you're winding up to get there, the more and more you build these, and it's the build. You know as well as I do. We are literally a month and a half. We're literally almost 2 months out of freaking WrestleMania. 2.5 months out of WrestleMania. So
middle of April.
You got time to build it, and after tonight, you got that power. Oh my god, I almost brain farted. The pile driver, that freaking
the package pile driver.
Yeah, you got the package pile driver, and it looks like igniting it, and everything that happened at Royal Rumble in the match with Cody. It's gonna get there.
One other story I do have to ask about, to add on to your guys' point, man. What do you do now with Seth, Roman, and Punk? What do we do? We do Seth and Punk at Mania. Roman, they said he's going to be out for the foreseeable future. What are we thinking here, guys?
Maybe we have Roman come out at Elimination Chamber and cost Seth the match.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, because that means that they would have to settle their differences. So eventually, it's a singles match. It's a match on the card. We got that. We get that every year, just good matches on the card, and it has to continue building a story or continuing a story or ending a story. We never really got that with them.
Well, the way I see it too is we've never gotten Roman versus Seth at WrestleMania 1-on-1. So I think that would be a nice treat.
Acknowledge from Raw tonight, Seth looking one like Billy Ray Cyrus from the inauguration.
Oh my god!
No, you didn't. Okay. Hold on.
Not done. Also looking like Macho Man Randy Savage from his TNA run.
Okay, I can see that. What some people actually compared him to Michael P.S. Hayes.
No. So Denise does her watch along every week.
Okay.
For Raw. I happened to message her and I said, "Tell me, Seth did not raid the freaking WWE archives for The Rock's freaking turtleneck and chain, The Undertaker's freaking trench coat, and the Macho Man's cowboy hat." I told her that and she died laughing. She goes, "Oh my God, you are so right. It's literally everything." Hey, guess what? Spot up for me.
No, I mean, you're correct on that. Both you guys are. Did you see what somebody online compared it to? Yeah. Somebody also compared it to like Jeff Jarrett when he first started with the Double J character. And I'm like, wow. That was pretty good. I can see that.
Oh, man.
Oh, my Lord. But no, I'm right there with
you. Are seeing Seth's total descent into madness.
I'm enjoying it.
We saw it the last time he turned heel.
Yes.
And this is what we're seeing. He's going to eventually snap even more.
I mean, minus getting, trying to rip Rey Mysterio's eyeball out, though.
If we ever have another one of those matches, just no.
I just want a good match from them. Same. I would love to see them just go out there, balls to the wall, go out there and beat each other's asses, let them do what they're going to do. I don't want a steel cage match. I don't want to maybe a last man standing, but I would love for them to just break all the walls and just go balls to the wall with it, because that's what we need from them. This is like a look at the long. We've been 10 years out since Seth turned on them, since he turned on Dean and freaking Roman, and we never really got that
Blow
that
up.
thing. We got the cash in at freaking WrestleMania, where it was supposed to be Roman's moment, and of course Seth freaking cashed in his money in the bank, beat freaking Brock and Roman, who ended up taking the pin in the match. So we never really got any conclusion to this, other than them having a few interactions here and there, and a couple of tag team matches or being involved with whatever. But we never really got that one-on-one. So
I mean,
hopefully with all this we can get it.
I mean, even after when in the original in 2014, when Seth hit them both with a chair, we went right into Seth versus Dean, and then Roman got the rocket strapped to him to go for the title. So I mean,
no, he got the booze strapped to him.
The booze strapped to him, yes. But that's the thing too, man. Much like Charlotte got tonight. But yeah, no,
get out of here, you're trash.
But I'm really looking forward to seeing where we go with that. And I mean, speaking of where we're going to go with that, we did mention Bailey earlier with, hey, we want some Bailey. I got to put it over because we're going to get it. Shout out to Adrian Hernandez. We're going to talk about BBL Bailey and some Nia. Here we go.
To my big dog.
Bailey needs to prove that she doesn't have a BBL.
She is ridiculous.
I mean, have you seen that? That thing we say BBL. I'm biased. I appreciate cheeks. I'm just gonna say I appreciate cheeks too. It's clear.
I appreciate cheeks.
I do.
That's my new merch, dude.
He said I do.
See why?
I don't know.
She loves it. She clearly. All right, you know what? I'm gonna post a picture from 2012. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not gonna say anything. You guys can comment and put stuff in there.
Reaction.
You know what, Nia?
The floor is yours. Go ahead.
It's not my fault that I had gained a little weight and it went straight to my cheeks, okay? But I'm proud of that weight and I'm proud of my cheeks. So if you don't believe that this is real, you ain't never seen a Bay Area girl, sister. This is the realest it'll ever get. And you're jealous. So if you got something to say, I'm going to see you tonight in the Royal Rumble and maybe my cheeks will throw your cheeks right over that top rope, you little cheek hating idiot.
I appreciate the cheeks. Oh my goodness. I do too. We all do. We all appreciate them cheeks. Dan, you saw
you Dan, go for it.
Go for it. All right.
Yeah, you love to see it.
You do. You absolutely do.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Not lie.
You other brothers can't deny.
Yeah. When a girl
walks in with an itty bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get
sprung. Oh, that's why we love us some Bailey, man. And I'll tell you something
real
else.
fine woman, won't you back that ass up?
You said, call me Big Daddy, won't you back that ass up? Oh, who's you playing with? Back that ass up. Put out some juvenile up in this.
Girl, who you playing with? Back that
ass up. Man, listen.
Oh man, come on, Dan. We got pour some sugar on me. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, Daniel. So what we also will get into now is Dark Side of the Ring season 6 returns on March 25th, and here is the episodes: Hell in a Cell, Big Van Vader, Tony Atlas, Ludwig Borga, Billy Jack Haynes, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, Superstar Billy Graham, Daphne, the original Sheik, and Muhammad Hassan.
Which,
guys,
can I just say, they stole the idea for that last one from us.
Oh, so we have been planning Uncaged Muhammad Hassan for months, and we got to do it. That episode will be out this week. But yeah, guys, they're doing Muhammad Hassan on Dark Side of the Ring. What do you guys think of this list? I'll start with you, Paul.
Billy Jack Haynes. God, I remember that man. I remember him in Hercules. I believe it was like WrestleMania 3, I believe.
Yes,
we were doing the put him in the freaking what the hell is that damn move called?
Sleeper hold.
Sleeper hold.
No, it was the freaking when you put your freaking arms behind
Full Nelson.
Head. Full Nelson. God damn it! Edit that out. They had the full Nelson contest at WrestleMania 3, which was excellent, but kind of funny at the same time. Just in that aspect, it was funny and cool at the same time. But Billy Jack Haynes is one of those controversial figures that was part of that doping scene back in the late 80s, early 90s, and everything that happened with him, Hercules, Hulk Hogan, Brutus Beefcake, which, by the way, I believe I mentioned this in a previous show with Michael Dan. I was supposed to meet Hulk Hogan and Brutus Beefcake, and at first it was supposed to be Billy Jack Haynes was supposed to come to our school during the summer, but it was the same year that Beefcake actually had that boating accident.
Yes.
And he ended up shattering his brain, or ended up shattering his skull, and they put a plate in his head. That was the exact same year I was supposed to meet all three of them. But another reason why Billy Jack Haynes was canceled on them was because he was actually in rehab because he had overdosed on freaking steroids. And I didn't find that out till like a few years later, which was crazy. But man, that's one. Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert who was a really, really talented wrestler. Really, really talented. But man, that's another guy that was like a coke fiend or something like that.
I mean, and you got superstar
of this list, superstar Billy Graham. God bless that man. Yeah, they may have taken our idea with Muhammad Hassan. Well, actually, that was your idea, so I can't take credit for it. So that's all you.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at this list too. Tony Atlas, you're going to get into the foot fed. I mean, Vader had a great life too in his career. I mean, we've heard about Hell in a Cell many a times, but it's going to be great to see Mick talking about it again. I think the only one on this list that a lot of people are uncomfortable with is the Daphne one, but I'm like, yeah,
that one's going to be hard.
That's going to be hard.
It's going to be hard to watch.
Yeah,
I love that girl. I loved her. I loved her in TNA.
Me too. WCW.
She was so awesome. Just a genuine person that just lost her way.
Yeah. Dan, which one are you really looking forward to on this one? I mean, we've all looking.
He wants Tony Atlas. That's the only one he wants.
The original Sheik one, knowing who he was.
Yeah.
And well, Billy Jack Haynes, which we all know where he is right now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, and I mean, Ludwig Borga should be interesting, but I'm kind of, Are you guys looking forward to Ludwig Borga? Or, eh?
I'm interested in Vader.
Vader? Yeah. Can we get some Boy Meets World mention up in here? Shout out to
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was just gonna say that too. I said, can we get some? I'm gonna get Jake the Snake at the Forum. Yeah.
Can I get a woof? Woof, woof,
woof, woof. And the son, woof, 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 woof. Why can't you be like your brother?
It's so good.
Oh man, that's it. That's it. We gotta watch that episode.
We gotta watch that episode.
We gotta watch a few episodes now.
Boy Meets World shit. Speaking of stuff we may be watching, so we're gonna get into a little bit of AEW stuff as well, and Hulk Hogan. So
fuck the
Hulk Hogan. So
fuck the Hulk Hogan.
So Saraya was on TMZ Sports and she was interviewed about coming back to the WWE, and here it is.
What do you think of WWE on Netflix?
Amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah, dude. I'm proud for anything that they're doing. Like, there's no ill will between us at all. Like, again, we kind of split amicably too, so it was just, I'm proud of them. They're great.
But there's a possible WWE in your future.
Maybe one day, yeah. I'm trying not to say anything. I don't want to get in trouble with that.
So I gotta say, her contract expires in September. Do you see her coming back to the WWE?
And she had a few months off, didn't she?
Yes, sir.
DC, take it.
I'll pay you.
I'll pay you. Come on, Saraya, stay with us.
See, here's what's gonna happen. Now that she said that, guarantee you, Tony second, I'll extend your contract.
Or why you want to go there? Fuck you. I'm going to make you lose.
I'll pay you.
You know what? That's funny. That's interesting because I believe that's about the time where Ray Phoenix's freaking contract is up.
Yep. That's
sometime in September or October.
Yeah, then we get the Lucha Bros and WWE for real.
Like for real.
Just Ray Phoenix, stop talking to Conan.
Yeah, don't talk to Conan.
That's man. Yes, please. Can you stop talking to Conan?
No, any lucha talent. Stop talking to Conan.
Yes,
Like
please.
we
stop.
get Ray, we get he's your friends with him, but
Just be
if it
quiet.
weren't for him, you'd be in WWE with your brother right now.
Yeah, just shut up. Stop talking to Conan. Well, Adrian Hernandez, I got to put this over. Shout out to him again. This is how Tiffany. We talked about Nia before with the big booty BBLs and all that. Just giving the finger to Tiffany while they're friggin' at the Rumble and Access. That right there, that photo says it all. Right there. You gotta love kayfabe, man.
It works.
It does.
It gets over stories.
Are we ever gonna get that rematch of Tiffany and Nia again? You think sometime, maybe? What do you think?
Maybe down the line.
Maybe down the line.
We're gonna get her and Charlotte first.
I think so.
That's the route I think we're gonna get. I think Rhea's gonna get whoever wins the Elimination Chamber, which I'm kind of hoping it's Io, because I would love to see that match.
Yep.
Whether Io gets over or not, is beyond me. But I want a good match, and then I was kind of hoping that we would get Io and Julia.
Well, that was
I was really or Bailey and Julia, but I know that we're at Stand and Deliver. We're probably going to get, because if Stephanie Vacour is going to go after the women's North American title,
yes,
and Julia, and somehow I think she needs a main roster talent to get over. Don't ask me why, but I just think somebody to get her over. Sure in hell not Becky, because I love Becky as much as I love Becky, not Becky.
I will say this: you mentioned Julia,
and not Nikki Bella.
I love the Io Sky stare-down in the Rumble. Did you guys enjoy seeing Julia and Steph? I didn't know Julia was going to be in it, but her and Stephanie Vaquer really showed up and showed out, man. Oof. My goodness.
The little handshake between them. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and we had that kind of like NXT versus main roster face off, and then
Chelsea
Green, trying to be all buddy, and everybody decided to just yeet her on out of the Rumble.
Hey man, she eliminated BFAB, and she was great. Like, that woman is the best part of any television. She's so funny. She has the comedic timing. You gotta love you some Chelsea Green, man. You really certainly do.
Yeah, because you had Jada, you had Lash, you had Bianca, and you had Naomi all in the Black Girl Magic conference right there in the middle of the ring, and all of a sudden here comes Chelsea. Hey, look at me. Yeah, girl, we here.
No.
That was fucking amazing and just sold everything. That was beautiful. That was just a beautiful moment.
How about Piper eliminating Chelsea by accident? She's like, that wasn't supposed to happen.
I'm here for Piper Niven as the United States Women's Champion.
Me too. She's worked her.
I'm here for it. How
about you, Dan?
Yeah, I think that's eventually going to be the WrestleMania match. Piper Niven versus Chelsea Green. And I made the comment, like, I look at Piper Niven's gear and I just see Awesome Kong.
I can see that. Yeah.
That style gear. And you know what? They play off each other so well, and I love it.
Well, they're real life friends, and it works. It does. Like those two have been together since Japan, and it really, really works, dude.
I think the one person I was kind of disappointed that didn't show up in the men's was Matt Cardona.
Yeah, I was waiting for a Matt Cardona.
I was waiting for a woo, and then like this,
always ready.
That's it, and then all of a sudden his music hits, and I was waiting for the crowd to go wild. At least one of those, but hey, mind you, we didn't get either of freaking Kofi or Xavier in the Royal Rumble.
No, but we
didn't get an R-Truth spot. That was kind of sad.
That was.
We got an Akira Tozawa spot, but we didn't get freaking R-Truth.
But we did get iShow Speed getting destroyed.
Oh my goodness, that spear.
iShow Speed.
Yep.
Oh my god. That was fucking crazy. Ron Breaker broke that boy in half. Otis throwing over the table, jacked up the back of his calf.
All the way.
Oh my god. Yep. that it took off a piece of his skin. He was just so pissed off. He was like, I guess I gotta next year I'll be ready.
You got to give it up to iShow Speed, though, because he got to stream and he got to be in a Rumble, and he took some abuse. I mean, he's taking an RKO from Randy at WrestleMania, and now he's taking freaking spears and a fallaway slam from Otis.
Not just a spear, he was broken.
I sent it to you. I sent it that he got knocked all the freaking rings off of him. Man, that was that freaking Sonic the Hedgehog. Getting speared and all the freaking rings popping off of him. Man, that was just classic.
Well, it's like when Trick Williams slapped Wesley on NXT with the Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it was like that scene from Next Friday where Papa looks at him and just says, "Hey, young man, you got knocked the fuck
out." Rest in peace, John Witherspoon.
Barbecue so good makes you want to slap your mama. What that?
You know what I got to say to that? You could just tell him you could call on Tyrone. Oh,
you can't even spell Fosachi. F-O Sachi. Oh man. Okay. But back on subject. Back to
wrestling. So Chris Jericho. Yeah. Okay. So Chris Jericho was interviewed by SM Fishman over her, Scott Fishman. And Chris Jericho says that Tony Khan has received offers from streaming services for Ring of Honor TV. And Chris Jericho said, and I quote, "I know Tony is working on that and has a couple of offers. I don't know if there are offers he wants. I think he wants to try and expand those offers. I'm 1,000% sure that he will continue to work to get a streaming deal because when he sets his mind on something, he usually makes it happen. He is invested fully in the Ring of Honor brand and product."
Destroying AEW, yeah, I think he's pretty much on it now.
Good luck with that. I don't see anybody picking up Ring of Honor. I'm sorry.
I don't see. Obviously, it ain't Tubi.
It ain't. Oh, all right. We'll get into that.
You know, you had the chance to have Ring of Honor.
It might be Crunchyroll.
Can we just put it over? WWE Elevate, and I'll put the graphic in here. WWE Evolve and elevating all these great young talents, the WWE ID prospects, the talents that are coming up in the Performance Center. Can I say I'm really looking forward to that Wednesday at 8 p.m. on Tubi, which is the same night that Dynamite airs on TNT and Max. Oh, boy.
Isn't that coinky dink?
Isn't it, right?
Oh. And now, mind you, they are going up against WWE's very much enhancement talent, not NXT, but we're talking about enhancement. This is like, forget AAA. This is like AA, single A, because this is where you're at. Not that they aren't experienced wrestlers. That's not what I'm getting at. They are experienced wrestlers. They're not like the those NIL people coming in or whatever. This is literally people who have already notched their freaking belt, a couple of notches in their belts in the indies. So mind you, so we're again AA.
I like the concept because when you think of Evolve, you think of Gabe Sapolsky and you think of that brand. This is another variation of that, like we mentioned with the ID prospects on the up-and-comers. Like, they have such a great ID prospect class. If we get to see Zeta Steel up in here and all those great talents, I'm here for it. We have so many different organizations influxed here. Daniel, I'll ask you because Paul and I are digging it. What are your thoughts? Are you going to check out WWE Evolve on Wednesdays now on Tubi?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's a really cool concept. You know, you got people that maybe are new to the PC, you know, gives them experience and exposure, you know, gets them in front of camera so that they're more ready.
Yep.
But that way, when it comes time to bring them out on NXT television, they're ready.
Yes, sir. Now, I got to say, we mentioned Tony Khan. Was that kind of
I'll
like
pay you.
I'll pay you. Was that kind of like a big F you to Tony Khan when you have Rey Mysterio and Pentagon starting off the Royal Rumble and Penta being in such a light of everything? And I mean, we'll play the clip here.
I think we literally got a Lucha Underground match to start off it off. That's literally what it was. It was Lucha Underground, and it was a big fuck you to fucking Tony Khan to say that this guy isn't a top talent in a company.
I'm 100%.
Literally. That is literally saying fuck you, Tony, if you don't believe that Penta is not a top rated top talent in a company. I'm pretty sure Tony already knows that, but to literally see it in front of the camera and for him to go out there and just be presented as he has been these last 3-4 weeks, and then in the Royal Rumble,
let's give a little shout.
I'll pay you.
Let's give this a shout from Busted Open once more. Here's Pentagon talking about his journey thus far in the WWE.
When I hear the 1, 2, 3, I turn around my head to the crowd. I see my daughter crying. I feel so proud about me first. And next, I feel so proud about my family because I know my daughter, she won wrestler in the future, right? It's like, and my mind is, okay, I did this because this is my dream. My family is here, the big place, California, because California represents something special for me and my career because I started in LA, you know. Thank you, Chad. I say after my match, thank you, Chad, because you is the person, the turning point in my career.
Yep.
And now, after the match, I take my family with Rey Mysterio, my recito, drinking cheers with something in my room. I take dinner with my family, talking about it after the match. How you feel? I ask my daughter, hey, how you feel? My daughter say, I don't know, pa. Sad and happy. But I understand why, you know, because it's 20 years work every day for this dream, you know. This is my feeling now, brother.
And he deserves every part of that. Oh my goodness gracious. Like, talk about his family. I love that, man. Penta, and also with Chad put him on the map with that match here in WWE. He was the perfect first dance partner for him.
Hey, DC, tell me that moment when he got on the mic was not just one of those emotional, you hear it, you see it, you can feel. You just know that he's just loving being where he's at.
He's happy.
That's exactly what it is.
The man was happy. You can fake a lot of emotion, but true happiness is something you can't fake true happiness.
No.
And seeing that interview and similar to the Jay and Jimmy backstage thing, seeing Penta's family and how proud they were of him, of their father, of a mother being or a wife being proud of her husband, that is pure happiness and pure joy, and he's knowing he made the right call. I mean, sure, he could have stayed with AEW and done okay, but he took a calculated risk, and now that Phoenix is chomping at the bit because he wants this too.
This also goes back to Conan. I know. This goes back to Conan because Conan has said in his recent podcast that he had a conversation with Penta, but that did not get out. Shut up, Conan. So when Conan was talking to Penta, and Penta was actually considering signing and re-signing with AEW, and Conan's like, are you sure you really want to do this? Like, are you sure you really want to do this? And he made the right choice in going to WWE.
It was the right choice. You can't say it wasn't.
No, not at all.
Look at what he's getting now as opposed to what he would have gotten had he stayed in AEW.
And that's the thing too, man. It's just you didn't know what spot he was going to be in.
If it was about the money, if it was about this, then he would have stayed. He would have taken whatever offer that Tony had and went and stayed. But it wasn't about this. Yeah, he's getting paid to be in WWE, but
a lot,
and he's getting paid a lot to be in WWE. Yeah, he probably would have Tony would have shelled out a hell of I'll pay you, a hell of a lot more to stay there. But he didn't want that because he wasn't going to get presented.
I have to say, as he should. And I mean, the money at the end, you can't beat happiness. And like you guys mentioned, the happiness that was on that man's face once he went out there in pure joy for that match and just in general, there's nothing like it, number one, but also number two, he working 20 years. And for me, like you guys, my first interaction and overall just visualization of Penta was back in Lucha Underground. And I mean, watching that, I was always intrigued by that character because it was a badass and he was so, it was enthralling. And I mean, to see where he is now is absolutely amazing. So much love to
former TNA world champion.
Well, yeah, for sure. The TNA
for like a couple days.
For like a couple days, but still, I mean, he got to beat Austin Aries, but
who doesn't love that?
Oh, who doesn't love?
And it's funny. It's funny because that's exactly what WWE said tonight. Like you heard Cole say that he wasn't a former Impact World Champion. He was a former Impact Tag Team Champion. So he's got his accolade. He's got that on notice.
Well, yeah, I mean,
at least he's got that on his resume.
I mean, we're in a day and age where, like, they mention him as a Lucha Underground champion. Like, look at Mia Yim and Chelsea Green from last Friday, like, mentioning, like, hey, Mia Yim's a former Knockouts champion. Like, again, this is the times that we're living in. Like, look, all right, we'll mention your boy Bully Ray. When Bully Ray was on the countdown, and, well, they mentioned Michael Cole's talking about your time as Bully Ray, and he goes, can you say that now? I'm like, yeah, times have changed. Like, we could mention Bully Ray on WWE television. So, much love, man. This is a great time for WWE. Now, on the other side of the coin, we mentioned I'll pay you. Latest signing to AEW, and I looked at this and I shook my head. And well, actually, one of our peers wrote on this. Tony Khan, congratulations, Megan Bayne, after win tonight in her Collision debut. Now it's official. Megan Bayne is all elite. And Beer, our boy on the Max Wrestling podcast, and good old Beer himself wrote under this, poor soul. So, your guys' thoughts on Megan Bayne signing with All Elite Wrestling. Take it away, Daniel.
I'll pay you.
Pay you.
Like, I don't know. It just, I'm in a good mood.
Okay.
And I don't want to wreck it.
Sure.
So all I can just say is, Megan Bayne, hope you're happy.
Paul, you want to comment on that girl, Megan Bayne, who is a great talent, but this is a Camille thing for me. I think she's going to wind up like Camille.
This is nothing. There is nothing that we don't already know about what AEW is going to do with her. Yep. And that's absolutely nothing. You aren't going to showcase her talents. You're not going to do what she did over in Stardom. You're not going to make her a star, much like you haven't with any of the talent on your roster. Not in years anyways. And the ones that were the biggest talent on your roster, I'm specifically talking to Tony. After I keep saying your. Tony, you have no idea what you have on your roster. You have no idea the talent that you have on your roster. You may see that they are talented on paper, or you may see that they are talented, on the videos that you collect from all these other places that they've been, except for WWE, in which case you have to pay them.
I'll pay you.
But we know for a fact he doesn't do anything with them. We already know Mercedes Moné is pretty much driving everything down. And I want to, and she's a good talent. I'm not taking that away from her, but God, if you believe that the money you make and that you're not putting anybody over, much like Charlotte is putting people over, Bailey put people over, Becky put people over. Mercedes Moné is not that person to put anybody over. Look at what she's been doing. Yes, okay, I have all these belts. Woohoo! What am I going to do with them?
Okay.
You're not even doing, you're not defending them. You're not elevating the titles.
Yep, and the talent.
You know what? I was going to take the high road.
Okay.
I was.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad I gave you the high road to not take.
Okay. So we all know what is going to happen here. She's going to get a couple weeks on TV, maybe a match at a pay-per-view, and then they're going to feed her to Mercedes. And then she's going to disappear off the card. Then she'll randomly pop up at a Dynamite or a Rampage.
Or a ring of honor.
And yeah, I mean, when was the last time that Camille was featured, positively?
Well, she quit on Mercedes, then she got attacked on Rampage, and we never saw her again.
I mean, she already out the door.
What? It irks the hell out of all of us because we have no idea, and this isn't leaving us in any sort of suspense as to what is going to happen next. Nothing. None of anything that Tony does is like, ooh, what is going to happen next? Because we all know what's going to happen next. Absolutely nothing. Because none of it's going to make any fucking sense. He's going to come back with this. Hey, do you remember so-and-so when they got attacked back in this day and that day and this one, blah, 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 blah. And you remember the episode of freaking Rampage when they did this and that and blah, blah, blah. No, because ain't nobody remember what the hell happened on Rampage. Because
nobody cares.
Yes.
And nobody watches it.
The thing too is with Megan Bayne, like you could do something with her and Mariah May because of Stardom, but you have Mariah May with Timeless Tony Storm in Australia, and they're probably going to take the title off of her because her reign as champion has sucked. But the thing is too, who the hell does
her fault?
It's not her fault. It really is not her fault. But where the hell do you
not her fault?
Yeah, where the hell do you go after with Tony Storm after this? I don't know, because they got nobody.
He doesn't know either. No, we all know.
He's going to bring out Serena Deeb to tell her, here, you can wrestle Tony Storm, or he's not going to run it back with Mariah May. He's not going to do any of that. What he's just going to do is just play with them like they're toys, much like he's done with the men's roster, and just say, hey, look, I'll give you these 8-hour freaking pay-per-views, but hey, you'll enjoy the show.
Now,
I know what he's going to do once Tony Storm wins the title back.
Gonna give it to Mercedes?
Yep.
Oh, we just put that in here. It's true though. We're not lying. And I got
tell me when I'm telling you.
I guarantee you. Bookmark this.
I'm bookmarking it.
In 3 months' time.
Yep.
Maybe All Out, All In, All Out. Either one.
Shake it all about.
Mercedes Moné will be world champion, on top of being the TNA or whatever the fuck TBS champion, on top of being the freaking New Japan Strong Style champion and every other fucking championship that she has, because that's what Tony wants to do. He wants to literally give her all the titles to make Mercedes happy.
And also, he's trying to make her like the female Ultimo Dragon, like back in the day when he had like 9 titles.
Or he's making her fucking a perfect, a very, very hateful fucking Austin Aries.
Now, I'm going to say this. The fact that he had her main event Dynamite last week against Yuka Sakazaki, and you knew where it was going, and that match, and I have no issue with Yuka, but God, that match was awful.
I have a huge issue.
Go ahead.
Because what he had on Saturday at Homecoming,
yes,
with Tony Storm, all of a sudden going back to Timeless Tony Storm, having that moment
after 6
weeks, should have been on fucking Dynamite.
Agreed.
That should not have been on Collision. That shouldn't have been the back fucking door, back seat fucking part of fucking Collision. It should have been on your main show of Dynamite.
I mean,
period.
I agree. And I mean, we talked about on Deep to the Heart of Wrestling. I enjoyed the segment for where it was, but it should have been on Dynamite. But instead on Dynamite, we got that never-ending beatdown of friggin' the Don Callis family and Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, where they stomped the music played, two pile drivers, stomped the music played, then they stopped, and then they started. The never-ending beatdown of Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay after they beat up them last week 4-on-2, and now we got the friggin' comeback this week. And then it's just like, what the fuck ever. And just this whole friggin' thing with Moxley and the Death Riders, which they have officially announced that it's going to be Mox versus Cope at Rad Revolution. And I'm like, I don't give a damn about this shit. And it just sucks. Oh, and Big Boom AJ looks to be in action at Revolution, as he said on a recent interview. That we're going to get Big Boom AJ in action. Don't know who's opponent's going to be.
I am so happy that I am not going to Revolution.
Oh, I think our boy Rob is. Shout out to Robert Davis. I think Rob is going to be going, and one other member of the TSK is going. But yeah, Rob, have fun with that. Have fun with that, Rob.
I don't have. Okay, I'm going to go back to this because, and I think we could all concur.
Yes.
This isn't about storylines. This has nothing to do with that.
No, doesn't have anything to do with the wrestlers either.
The wrestling is good. The wrestling can be excellent. That is not why we get pissed off or frustrated with AEW. The reason why we get frustrated with AEW is because half of the shit, no, not half of the shit, 2/3 of the shit don't make fucking sense.
Mm-mm.
I hate shitting on a show where there's so much talent on it, where there's so many awesome fucking wrestlers on a fucking roster, so much talent that yes, they go out, they do the damn thing, tear down the damn house, etc. But when stuff doesn't make sense, it makes it fucking boring. It makes it so not watchable, where we collectively, as the IWC, as just podcasters, wrestling fans in general, just don't like seeing. If it made sense to us, we would only be bitching about certain storylines. But when there are none, what?
I had an issue with FTR and them and how we're going to get this Mid-South street fight this week because friggin' Dax Harwood goes, hey man, you want to attack Ricky Morton and he's my idol, and right in front of Dennis Condrey, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to challenge you to a Mid-South street fight on Collision. I'm like, you literally said that you and FTR are going to take it all. Why don't you three go for the trios championships that we never effing see? And as we don't even realize, like we mentioned last week, if they still have these fucking titles. But no, we got to stand up for Ricky Morton, and we got a Mid-South street fight on Collision. Why? For Ricky Morton. I'm doing it for Ricky and Dennis Condrey because Mid-South Wrestling.
What the hell? That's like saying talking about Mid-South Wrestling is like talking about the AWA. Hi, Moses.
Hi, Moses.
I'll pay you.
Oh man, but no, Dan, you see it, man. Like friggin', they're going from like territory stuff like that's so, from back in like the 80s that a lot of people you didn't really watch unless you're like really diehard. But like we're mentioning Mid-South and Dennis Condrey and the Midnight Express, and now he's doing it for Ricky Morton. What do you think, man? Go ahead, Daniel Lubensau. Go ahead, man. Let him know, Dan. Come on, Dan. Join in.
Come on, DC.
Come on, Dan.
How, like you said, Paul, like you did the whole, we're coming to take it all. Okay.
Well, that's what they said at the pay-per-view. We're going to take it all.
You're coming for the world title. Fine. Okay. Why haven't you gone with the trio titles? When was the last time they were defended on TV?
I couldn't even tell you.
Back in 2024.
Last year.
But
when they won them,
I can't and it just kills me that the marks just they excuse it.
Well, we got to give Tony a pass because he's one of us. He was on the message boards. He was at those shows. He loves wrestling. I love
Best booker ever.
Best booker ever. And again, we say it every week, ladies and gentlemen. We don't like shitting on this company. But when this company went from, oh my God, we have something new in 2019 to like, that's what it is. And it's ice cold right now. Not saying
I can literally vouch.
Yes.
I'm not an every week watcher. I do watch periodically. At least I could say Billy Corgan has storylines in fucking NWA.
He does.
I understand he likes that old school wrestling. It does have an old school territory feel to it.
Yes.
Because it's literally in a studio. It's in, it's literally grandstands that are behind a freaking ring. It's cool. It's very vintage. It's very classic NWA wrestling. But what's even greater about it is that there's storylines to follow. And even if you don't know the storylines, and even if you don't watch it, there are pay-per-views that they have where they're just watchable and cool, classic, just people going out and wrestling.
Yep.
AEW has good, great, average wrestling. And all of the above. It has a list of everything. But again, we go back to, it's not about the wrestling. It's about what is being told. Because you have start, stop. Months apart, start, stop. Hey, do you remember this? This is why this is going on now. It's repetitive of start, stop, long-term absence. Start something else in between, then go back to say, hey, guess what? Do you remember when this, and this happened? Well, this is what's going to happen next week, and blah, 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 blah. It's like, God, it's so fucking tiresome.
It is. I mean, look at what we did on this week on AEW. Now, you would think Edge and FTR want to take it all, but you have Jay White, who, because we're in Australia, we're going to get him and Mox for the title, but then you show a vignette of the Guns coming back. So what you're telling me is we're going to get Jay White and the Guns against the friggin' Death Riders for the Trios chair. Okay. Woo. Okay. All right. Sure. Whatever.
All right, I'm done shitting on AEW. Can we get to another subject? Because I'm already fucking pissed.
All right. Well,
I could see DC's already pissed. So that tells me right there. Look, that guy right there, he looked like he mad.
Well, we have two
and
more.
you're going to turn him to drinking. Look, you're going to turn him to drinking. You know what time it is, and he's drinking.
Yeah,
it's 12:15 in the morning.
Yeah, that's true. So we
it's
do have
Tuesday morning here, people.
It is same with me. So I will say this: two more topics before we close out this fine program. We're going to end on Danhausen. We'll put that into the forefront. We're going to end on Danhausen. So Dan, you'll be happy. So we got one more topic to talk about before Danhausen. I'm going to curse you. Hulk Hogan was on the Pat McAfee. Fuck the Hulk Hogan.
Fuck the Hulk Hogan.
Was on the Pat McAfee show, and he had this to say. I don't know. Here we go.
But I think the politics had a whole lot to do with it, like you said.
I would say, yeah, I would assume we get into the politics and also some other stuff, you know.
Yeah, of course. But at the end.
Yeah. I mean, when you're in a public eye for 40 years.
Yeah, you do slip and fall a couple times.
Yeah, and they're going to see it. Everybody's
but anyway, at the end of the day, we kind of looked at it the next day because, I had like 11 billion impressions, and some of the other guys, some of the big stars that were on that car that night only had like 3 billion. I don't name names, but, we were
so you were like,
I was like, ooh, hating some more.
Yeah. We actually ran a press conference the day after. I don't know if you got a chance to see it from the Hulkster, but we have a lot of questions for you. Is that okay?
Yeah, but the one thing is, I was talking about the beer. We're in a relationship with the WWE. They're my partner in this thing, and I had to be a good guy in LA.
Yes.
Now, if this was for wrestling, and they turned on me like that, I'd have turned into Hollywood Hulk. And I said,
oh hell yeah!
So you hate me for everything I've done for all the Make-A-Wish kids and everything I did for your kids? Well, guess what? I did it for the money. and by the way, since you want so much hatred coming your way, I hope you have a good time when Kamala Harris, is your new governor, and you're all standing in the soup line. Mic drop. See you.
Jeez Louise.
But I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But I was ready. I was ready to go after him.
Well, I thought.
So he gave the reason why he got booed, and then he turned into, well, I got more impressions, brother. Oh, got more impressions, brother. And yeah, that. Oh, God almighty. Paul, you want to take it away?
You know, he is a bigger fucking idiot than the idiot that's already sitting behind the fucking desk in the Oval Office.
Yep.
If not, they're both the bigger fucking idiots that are just sitting. Oh my God, it isn't about you turning into a character. It isn't about any of that. And the fact that Pat McAfee had to bring him on there I love Pat, I do, but this wasn't
WWE probably told him to.
And I think that's probably what WWE did, but you don't do that. You don't put them in front of a camera to start bashing people for it to be political.
You
And then
don't let
Pat McAfee is just more or less like egging it on to try and make it so less uncomfortable than what it is. It's just stupidity upon stupidity upon stupidity. Dan,
Well, he subtly owned him with that and of other
Dan,
like, why in the fuck did you have to make it political? You could have just said, hey, it was a charged crowd. You know, people had some opinions. And you know what? It wasn't your politics. It's because you're a racist piece of shit.
Exactly. We say it every time. It's like
There is proof out there of people saying, yeah, this isn't the first time he said stuff like this.
There's a recording of him and Nick at the prison. There's a recording of him on like tape saying this shit.
There's evidence of him admitting to being racist.
Yes. Like, Hulk, we're not booing you for your politics. We're booing you because you're a fucking racist.
Because you're a piece of shit
You're
human.
a piece of shit human being.
and because we know that in wrestling you have fucked over so much fucking talent.
Yep.
And in the wrestling world, forget the racist shit that we already know about.
Right.
We know how many people you fucked over along the way to get to where you were, especially holding people back like Bret Hart, who hates the fucking holy hell out of you. The Macho Man Randy Savage, who you ended up trying to fuck his wife.
Jesse Ventura.
We
Got him fired.
We can throw out a list of fucking
Brutus Beefcake.
about 100 fucking people.
If I may.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 9 was supposed to be Yokozuna's night.
And then who wound up on top?
That was supposed to be the night that he was supposed to walk out of the event the WWF champion.
Yep.
And what happened?
Hogan, and the initial plan, Hogan and Beefcake were set to win the tag team titles.
Yeah, against Money Inc., right?
Exactly. But Hogan before the show said, "Brother, if I don't leave with as WWF champion, I'm not going out."
Yep, that happened. That happened. I mean,
Again,
Bruce,
back to fucking people over as to the reason why people fucking hate him.
and his own best friend Brutus Beefcake won't even talk to him anymore because he hit on his wife.
Tony Atlas.
Tony Atlas cannot.
Tony Atlas, and of course the Iron Sheik. Fuck the Hulk Hogan.
Fuck the Hulk Hogan. You can even see it at the Hall of Fame in 05. Like Paul Orndorff didn't even want nothing to do with him either. Paul Orndorff, God rest his soul.
I am so fucking happy that Stone Cold said what he said, and that it rubbed fucking Hogan the wrong way, because Stone Cold gave two fucking shits about fucking Hogan's feelings.
There are so many stories of people that were around back then that have said that Hogan was not a good guy. Like when he was backstage, you didn't talk. If there was something you didn't want getting back to Vince,
don't say it in front of
Vince's inner circle, you didn't say it around Hogan or around Hogan's crew.
Right.
You just didn't talk because Hogan was a rat.
But yeah, Hulk Hogan.
Fuck the Hulk Hogan.
Y'all want to put it up with me? I'm putting up the middle finger. It's okay. Hogan, that's sorry for you, Hulk. You getting on in there, Paul Morales. So
for the
Sheik. So one final topic, and it's a fun one. We're going to talk about that boy, Danhausen. He was recently on Chris Van Vliet, out of character, and here he is talking about trademarking his face.
What made think to trademark your face makeup? Because I think you're the first wrestler.
I was the first.
You did it before Sting.
Yes, which was cool. But it helped him go, oh, I can do that. I don't think he said shit. I don't know if he swears.
Probably not.
He's the nicest guy on earth. Yeah, so we had trademarked my makeup. I think I'd seen something that looked very similar to mine that came after, and I went, maybe I should try to get this.
Another wrestler?
No. It was
Oh.
like, there was a Magic the Gathering card that I saw, and I was like, it's probably nothing, but it looks very much like I was getting tagged by like just fans on Twitter, and I was like, maybe I should try to get my makeup trademarked. Who knows?
You went through gimmick attorney.
Yes,
He's
Mike
the
Dawkins.
best.
Yeah,
Mike's the best.
So I got him to do that, and I think it was like kind of a pain in the ass, but then he got it done.
I feel like he can.
And then it was probably
push
easier
anything
for
through.
Sting because we were able to get mine. He knew how to do it and probably how to word things, and he was able to go, "Hey, we can just get yours done now." So, because I think mine also was probably technically easier because Sting's probably also had the crow thing going with it, where that could have been an argument.
Oh, sure.
So it was probably an easier way to navigate through that, I would guess.
What made?
I gotta say, now when you think of that face, you think of Danhausen, and I mean, he's smart. He's smart.
He kind of sounds like that Danhausen too. That sounds like him.
You know that Danhausen? You know that guy Danhausen? He kind of sounds like him.
Danhausen, yes. That's
But
what I
they're
like.
probably not the same person.
Probably not.
It can't be. There has to be two of them.
Of course.
It's like Shane Helms. Oh my God. Have you seen him? He sounds exactly like that Hurricane guy. What's up with that?
What's up with that?
Totally not the same person.
Totally not the same person.
Totally not the same person.
But no, man. That's very cool that he has trademarked his face because that face is just
What
solidified.
about that Steve Borden guy?
Steve Ford guy? You know, he sounds awful lot like Sting.
He sounds an awful lot
Danhausen.
like Sting.
He's a very nice, very evil kind of guy.
Yeah. I got to say, that one just made me smile thinking of that dude. I cannot wait till he comes back on AEW television. If he comes back on AEW television. I know he appeared at Ring of
Tony
Honor.
booked him.
Tony booked him. But no, that made me smile. I figured we'd close it out with something cool just to talk about that face and that image that is Danhausen.
Well, you could have not talked about Hulk Hogan.
Hey, man, there's a lot of stuff going on in the news, and Hulk Hogan.
But then again, you know what? Hulk Hogan is a fucking piece of shit. So we'll just kind of leave it at that.
Yeah. So with
And
that,
at least Danhausen is a good story.
Yes.
Go watch Chris Van Vliet.
Yes.
That was a really, really good story for them.
I will say this: we don't like to be pissed, ladies and gentlemen. But once we get to that side of things, we get pissed. But there are things.
I
that
blame
make-
Mike.
I'm sorry. And
That's it. You know what? That's it. We are
Completely.
gonna. That's it. Next week we are going to change the format, and Mike has no say in it.
Well, I will say this: we appreciate everyone. There's something that is happy. We appreciate everyone who does check out the weekly review and this fine channel. And we'll be back later in the week, early next week, for more of the weekly review. And we have predictions to do coming up next week, ladies and gentlemen, for NXT Vengeance Day, which is headlined right now of Obafemi against A-Town Down Under for the NXT Championship. So, with that,
That'll be interesting.
Oh, yes, it
Why
will.
don't we get the turn?
Oh, we got that. Oh, we turned. See, I turned. They want me to turn on you, Chris. It's
And they
gonna
might
be.
say his name, and he might appear.
I believe in Joe Hendrick. What I do believe is, Mr. Paul Morales, you, my friend, are doing your things on the social. Where can we follow you, my dear friend?
Right there. See that name right there? The Dead Man of RWT. Of course, you can find me on X. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on TikTok. I guess it's still there, obviously.
Yes,
for now.
For now.
But if you go to my link tree inside my Twitter, you could actually find where I am at on all my social medias. I just recently added my threads because, of course, I actually repost a lot of stuff, wrestling content there. And of course, Mr. Daniel Crimmins, where can we find you, sir?
Hit it.
You can find me on the Instagram. You can find me on the YouTube. The pundit is coming back. I know I keep saying it, but work is, well, y'all know how this work life is.
I'll pay you.
I'll pay you. Well,
No, I won't pay you. Well, he will, but I won't.
I will say this: follow Dan, follow Paul. If you want to follow
No,
yours,
I'm lying. Don't follow me in person because that's just weird.
Yeah, that's just
I like
weird.
your style, my friend.
That's stalker status.
Status. So I will say this: if y'all want to follow me,
you know what, Michael? All you need is a feather boa because you're in a robe. All you need is a feather boa, and you're perfectly down to be freaking Hulk Hogan.
Fuck, first, don't even. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, SF Showrunner MCL92. I fucking hate you, Paul. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Larkin_92 and MLarkinMB. Follow this fine channel, Mike Larkin 92. We have Uncaged coming back. Our debut for season 5 is Paul, Dan, and I talking about Muhammad Hassan. We beat you too at Dark Side of the Ring. And
Dark Side of the Ring.
Still our idea. Wow, still our idea. So we have the weekly review. We have Deep Into the Heart of Wrestling, Steve and Mike Show, Pop Culture History Podcast, the LFC Podcast, On the Mic with Mike, and so many great things on this fine channel. Stay tuned, stay locked in, and subscribe and like and comment. We appreciate the interaction. So for Paul Morales, for Daniel Crimmins, my name is Mike Larkin. Thank you for listening to another edition of the weekly review, and we'll see you real soon.
I'll pay you.
Fuck the Hulk Hogan.
And I'll pay you.
And I'll pay you.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow.
The past is gone. Now's the future.